Hello, my name is Emma Danker, and I have two of my friends with me today, Angelina Akdis and Taleen
Hi.
Sample. And so we're all here together to talk about water sustainability and especially just on teen perceptions of that issue and how teens are trying to make a difference. So I wanted to start with Taleen. So you have a lot of experience with droughts and how important water is. You're originally from California, correct?
Yeah, I am. So when I was living in California, it never really occurred to me that there are other places where there wasn't a drought happening because there was like a drought from the time I was 7 to 14, I think. So most of the time when I was aware of what a drought was, we had to conserve water. So this involved anything from sticking buckets under our showers and then using this shower water to water plants. And it was just so weird for me to think about other places and how maybe in Washington State they didn't have to do this. Like that just never occurred to me growing up.
Yeah, it really just changes how you live and how to conserve and try to make a difference. But so this is especially important to you, correct? Because your family is involved with water or is
Yeah.
impacted by
So
it. So
So my grandpa's a cattle rancher. So sometimes whenever we visit, he'll tell us about the drought or if he just got rain, and it's always a really really big deal for my family about whether or not we get enough rain to support the cattle that he then sells to make his living. So obviously, if the grass doesn't grow, the cattle can't eat, and he can't sell them for a good price. So for our family, water has always been very important because we always need the rain to come so that my grandpa can continue his profession.
I mean, it impacts so many different jobs and fields, like everyday life to someone's whole livelihood. So how has your life changed just coming to Colorado when you don't have to deal with that as much, even though it's still such a huge issue here as well?
I remember the first 4th of July that I was here, we were outside watching the fireworks and it started raining and there were these ginormous droplets and my entire family was so confused, what is happening right now? They weren't just the rain that we were experiencing, which is a little bit of drizzle, maybe twice a year, but instead they were these huge droplets. And that's my favorite part about Colorado for sure. Just waking up in the middle of the night to rainstorms and thunderstorms, and I just think that that's something really really cool that most Californians miss out on.
Yeah, it's so sad because Colorado is sort of heading in the direction of California right now. Just a couple weeks ago, the Denver Post published an article saying that for the first time in 8 years, 100% of Colorado is either in a drought or experiencing severe or abnormally dry conditions. So it really is important to keep that in
Yeah.
mind and how water impacts everybody. So Angelina, you know a lot about fashion. You are actually the head of our school's fashion club. And
Yeah.
so surprisingly, that's a way that a lot of teens have been working to help with this issue. So do you want to talk about that further or so?
Totally. So I think teens in this day and age are becoming more mindful about sustainability, especially in how they express themselves and in clothing. So I see a lot of teens opting for more organic clothing or going to sustainable brands or thrifting to try and stay away from t shirts that take 2,700 liters of water to create.
It's crazy.
I think that people are trying to use less water so that it can be used for better purposes because the fashion industry uses 79 billion cubic meters of water every year, which is crazy because that's about 32 million Olympic sized swimming pools. And I think teens are realizing this and wanting to do something better. So they're shopping at sustainable clothing stores and just trying to do better so that we're using that water for something more important.
Do you
So
think
yeah.
the movement of buying secondhand clothing has impacted the broader fashion and styles of people our age and even just beyond?
Definitely. So I think now we're seeing a lot of trends going back to later eras. So like the 90s. So you can find some of that at thrifting, thrift shops for a lesser price. And I think teens really love that. And I think going to places like that are a great way to express your style. And I think teens are really enjoying that right now.
Yeah, I think it's really great how people of all ages, water and sustainability affects everybody. And I think it's really great that people our age are trying to make a difference. And it's a really impactful way. When you hear those numbers, it's almost hard to imagine just something that you wear can impact the environment so much. So I think it's really great that people are trying to limit that, buying secondhand and from more sustainable brands. So just want to thank you guys for talking with me today. I think we had a really fun conversation, and I hope that we all learn more about how water affects all of us and how more teens can make a difference. So thank you.
Thank you so much for having us.
Yeah.